Hello, everyone. Mark Merrill for Firm, Fairness in Reporting Media. In our Firm journals, we're getting down to it, ladies and gentlemen. Especially here in the state of Maine, we've had it. With all the malarkey. Actually, all the violence and the hate is more like it. Who's right and who's evil? First of all, American and Maine citizens, don't blame me at Firm, Fairness in Reporting Media, about the last 2 weeks of horrific and despicable actions during September of 2025, which includes the following descriptions and quotations you're about to hear and about to show you from the blame and bully games of the leftist elitists and some rhinos too. You're not left out. And some amazing accusations from lots of wannabe politicians. And I mean that. They know who they are. They'll find out who they are once they see this program. Who's right and who's evil. But also some accusations, and maybe always sometimes entertaining, from the category of what the hell were they thinking? Those statements and lots more, folks, coming in this Firm Journals episode. Who's right and who's evil? It's against we the people, under the Constitution of the United States, the Bill of Rights, and the Declaration of Independence, or as Firm likes to refer to the people that are the victims, the real victims, the voters. Where do we start? Jeez, where do we start indeed? Well, let's bring down here so you can see exactly to whom we are talking about, folks. The beginning, of course, is usually the best place to start. But there is no starting point because since 2020, during the COVID-19 pandemic to present-day America, no one, and I mean no one, not even our newly elected President Donald Trump, can figure out who is responsible for violence and murders here. Except maybe for Tom Homan. At ICE. Now, let alone that, also who is willing to be cooperative and accept the fallout and down and dirty reality of how our United States, coast to coast, will exist as a republic that it is. From all of this, with our 250th anniversary on the horizon in July of 2026. Any answers? We'll see as the time goes on this program, folks. Now, to start things off, we're going to go to our friend at the Robinson Report. Steve Robinson, editor-in-chief. We have a caricature to come up with here, folks, as we start with him, just to get things off and rolling on the right foot, even though you see Bobby Charles here along with Shenna Bellows. But we mean to start off right here with a caricature we had from a few months back, actually a couple of years back. You may recall it. Parents versus teachers. Yike. Remember that? It wasn't too long after COVID had subsided. We're going to say 2022 or 23. But in this Robinson report, we got posted from September 18th, Mr. Robinson reports, yes, cheering political violence should cost you your job. especially teachers. The disparity between support for political violence between liberals and conservatives, he says, has been measured in polls in recent years, but difference has become highly visible in the wake of the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Leftists support and commit political violence at far higher rates than conservatives. Indeed, he says, the number of liberals who support political violence or are ambivalent about Kirk's murder is stunning. We're just getting started here, folks. Just getting started. Who's right and who's evil? More shocking is the number of public school employees and other taxpayer-funded workers who are celebrating or posting gleefully about his assassination, but plenty of them, sadly, are from Maine. How about that? Mr. Robinson's inbox, he says, and the Maine Wire social media accounts are overflowing with irate parents wondering why public school employees are allowed to flaunt their villainy and impunity. This speaks volumes now, folks. You get it. The school in Lincoln faced student walkouts and angry parents over multiple employee posts. Just like this one. Not necessarily the way she looks. It's a caricature. Get over it. A Portland Public Schools employee hoping Kirk's assassination would be physically attractive, and a janitor in Dedham. A Kennebunk High School employee justifying murder. The former SAD 6 Superintendent Frank Sherburne couldn't be happier. Charlie Kirk was killed, and he has a hit list of whom he'd like to be assassinated next. Portland Public Schools Steering Committee member who raised the matter of Charlie Kirk was effectively told to STFU. Topic, Portland Public Schools email. Assassination of Charlie Kirk. Topic. Jennifer Giambattista. Good morning, fellow colleagues. Were there any opportunities for discussion or support offered to students affected by the horrific assassination of Charlie Kirk? I don't recall seeing anything, but maybe I missed an email or notification. Jacob Bowley replied to Ms. Giambattista. Jen, respectfully, people are murdered every single day in this country. When an elected state senator was killed in Minnesota recently with her husband and another wounded, I don't recall us creating a school forum for discussion on the matter. Let's leave this alone. Oh, really? How liberal of you, Mr. Bowley. You like your job? You might not have one soon. Another one. Abdullahi Ahmed chimed in. Please let us stop all staff emails. If you have any questions or concerns, please reach out. I am in the office at DHS. Thank you. Mr. Ahmed is Assistant Superintendent of Secondary Schools in the Portland Public School District. Ms. Giambattista was the only one who replied so far, saying, thank you, I will be in to talk with you, Dr. Ahmed. Of course, it's not just teachers who are displaying sympathy or even joy with the violence and evil acts. You also have some political leaders and nonprofit heads like Portland City Councilor Regina Phillips. Her comments in the wake of the most heinous political assassination since Martin Luther King Jr. were tame in comparison to many across the state, but nonetheless display the remarkable nonchalance of Maine's liberal intelligentsia about political violence. By her own admission, she was celebrating Kirk's murder. That's right. Celebrating it. Let's see what you think, ladies and gentlemen. She said, I can easily tolerate someone who has different political views than I have, even admire them. Charlie Kirk was brilliant, sincere, well-read, deeply religious, and willing to talk it out with anyone who disagreed with him. He would listen and respond gently and honestly. Some of his ideas were too far out there for me, as the conversation devolves or dissolves into hate. But I don't care, she says. He articulated his viewpoint, and he was sincere. To those celebrating his death, feel free to unfriend me at your earliest convenience. Well, gee, that's nice. That's really nice. Screw you, lady. You have no heart, no soul, and anything else. And one person put it pretty succinctly. Regina Phillips, wow. Wow, lady. And you are a city councilor? Portland politics in action. Never mind the rest of the state. From Kittery to Fort Kent and back. Next up, folks. We have candidate for governor Bobby Charles, a Republican. His letter to the FBI director, Kash Patel, on Secretary of State Shenna Bellows' ignorance on her ruling for illegal migrants' rights to vote in Maine. Quote from Mr. Charles, I will not stand by while Maine's elections are compromised. I demanded action, sending the letter a couple of weeks ago. I've called on FBI Director Kash Patel to investigate illegal aliens voting in Maine. Mr. Patel, I write you with deep concern over recent revelations regarding the integrity of Maine's elections. In a video that has now circulated widely, Maine Secretary of State Shenna Bellows openly admitted that illegals have been registered to vote. This is not speculation or rumor. It is as on-camera admission by the Chief Elections Officer of our state. I am formally requesting that you investigate these claims of voter fraud in Maine, specifically the issue of illegal aliens being added to the voter rolls. The people of Maine deserve to know the full truth about what is happening behind closed doors in Shenna Bellows' office. If our laws are being ignored or manipulated, swift accountability must follow. He had a few more things to say, but we'll leave it there, folks. Thank you, Mr. Charles. This one gets a little bit more touchy as we go along and along, folks, on our program called Who's Right? Who's Evil? As you see before you, Representative Laurel Libby, who's been through a lot herself, personally and otherwise, put a post from her dinner table organization and asked of Maine citizens a poll. Will more businesses close when the minimum wage increases to $15.10 an hour in January? How about that? Here's how that came out, folks. I don't know if you can see it or not. Will more businesses close when minimum wage increases to $15.10 an hour? Yes votes 88%, no votes 8%, and unsure 4%. There is the results right there. Can't deny the facts, Deflect-o-crats, Dems, Rhinos, independents like you, King, Angus, I'm talking about, Bernie Sanders, asswipe. Jeremy Bolduc had a reaction. We've already seen what happens when minimum wage increases here. Encourage students to explore skilled trades and practical degrees. Good point. One more from Paul, who says the real minimum wage is $0. And minimum wage laws guarantee that more folks will experience zero. Every government intervention in free exchange is an abomination against the principles of limited government because, he says, this is a direct assault on property rights. Government should not pick winners and losers. Very well said, sir. Thank you, Paul. Now, folks, we have a little bit of a tussle here going on as the minimum wage increase was taken another step further on our end here on Firm. And we presented that information to a few of our viewers of our podcasts and also on a couple of occasions to a gentleman who is also running as an independent, as you now see before you, John Glowa of South China. We gave him the link, and we said these statistics cannot stand for a limited and aging small business ownership group. To heck with Mills and whoever is Maine Department of Labor Commissioner. Gee, you know what? After the April 2020 Patriots Day gathering down there between the State House and the Governor's Mansion, where not only Ms. Libby was as a speaker, a lot of out-of-work nurses and doctors were there, and so was Paul LePage. So once again, folks, we put an asterisk. These statistics that we just read to you cannot stand for a limited and aging small business ownership group. To heck with Mills and whoever is Maine Department of Labor Commissioner right now. Mr. Glowa had a question as to why he was on my email list. Among others. Hello, John. Only because I thought you, meaning Mr. Glowa, and other new politicians in the 2026 governor's race might want to have some ammunition on Janet Mills' forced minimum wage increase to $15 an hour without any referendum or public hearings on this. Small business owners will be strapped to keep their employees on board, I said. Just a news item from one of our GOP representatives, Laurel Libby. Here's Mr. Glowa's reply. Janet Mills is not forcing anything on anybody. What? His words, folks, not mine. His words. Laurel Libby is, in my opinion, meaning John Glowa, in his opinion, perhaps the worst of our Maine legislators. And even, he says, says my own state representative, Katrina Smith, is a close runner-up as being one of the worst Maine legislators. Well, throwing her right under the bus. GOP House Minority Leader with Billy Bob Falkingham as the minority leader. She's assistant. If you wouldn't mind sending me a copy of this news item from her, I would appreciate it. Thanks for keeping me in the loop. Sure. Things we have to put up with here. And by the way, folks, we here at Firm, yeah, you know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about myself right now. We're just the messenger. If you got a problem with what I'm telling you, you better talk to your state representatives, and quick. I don't care what letter of the alphabet's next to their face. You better talk to them as a human being and tell them how pissed off you are about this. Everything. From illegal immigrants to voting to voter ID, never mind the abortion issue. In our last segment, folks, we have some words and questions for leftists, Democrats, and Republicans, both woke types, of course. Here they are. Statements first. Some words for the left and the right. God knows your every action. Mine, yours, especially you protesters out there who want to have the Constitution destroyed, thrown in the trash, along with the Bill of Rights, because it's old. God bless America always. Especially this right here, folks. The flag. Don't you dare desecrate the flag. Not one iota. Ever! I'm a United States Armed Forces veteran. Served proudly. And you're going to hear from me, if you haven't already. Now the questions. Why are you people, you know who you are, so violent, hateful when it comes to having a discussion about any topic? We didn't start anything with you. We're not accusing you of anything. Well, we can. So why don't you defend yourself instead of being violent with guns? Or I should say, hired, violent, illegal criminals to do your dirty work. And we'd certainly like to get a little personal with all of you out there, for the leftists and rhinos out there. Who loves you as a person? Who counts on you? Who depends on you in your family? If you left wingnut radicals and rhinos, who are in name only, if you hate Mr. Trump so much, how can your party make America a better country to live in? Instead of being like Jasmine Crockett and the Squad. Hakeem Jeffries. Chuck Schumer. MSNBC and CNN. The nasty, vile, hateful media and entertainment jerks like Jimmy Kimmel. And Stephen Colbert, who should not even be on the air right now, spewing and hating the United States government of and citizens of 360 plus million people in this country who could give a rat's rear end what you say and what you have to complain about. Screw you, Colbert, and screw you, Kimmel. You millionaires are nothing. And let's see if you can even answer this. Who is a Democratic candidate for president in 2028? Geniuses. And which one will make America better and a respected world power? Who's going to answer those questions? I don't know. You answer them. I'm just the messenger. Don't attack me. As always, Mark Merrill, as you see before you, owner, founder of Firm, Fairness in Reporting Media. Find our podcasts all the time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, on YouTube, X, and send us an email every now and then, folks. fairnessinreportingmedia@gmail.com, fairnessinreportingmedia@gmail.com. Stay safe to everyone. Pray for our country, salvation of our republic, our pastors and our churches, Peace to all.